Hey everyone, Player of the Week is back on eFootball. We've got a new selection. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description for each player, so if there's a particular player you want to hear about, click on the description and there'll be a link to take you straight to them. So, as always, they've snuck a little 4-star in. We'll start with him. So, it is Mbangula from Juventus. So, debutant, teenager from Belgium. I watched the match, he was decent, got a very nice goal and assist later on. He's normally a prolific winger, and they've made him a creative playmaker this time. No change to his positions. It's the first time I've had a feature version of him. Skill-wise, he already had scissors, feint, and scotch move. Everything else is new. So we've got double touch, flip flap, soul control. That should give him that ball roll, double touch, and then long range curl, long range shooting, low lofted pass. So with this shooting, he's got a bit of end product. In terms of attributes, his base card, as a new player, has only just come onto the scene, as you'd expect, is not great. It only goes to about 84, 85, I think. This one's obviously 90 rated. So he's had a pretty big boost across the board, although they've slightly reduced his pace. So they're still making some strange decisions with the attributes. So he's slightly slower than his terrible base card, but everywhere else, nice boost from mid 80s up to about 90. So obviously it's a good version of him. Only standard form. Obviously, he doesn't have a face scan yet. I imagine he'll get one at some point, but knowing Konami, that could be any time in the next 3 years. But yeah, it's very much a 4-star card. He's a right footer. He's not particularly two-footed. With the skills he's not got crossing. I wouldn't play him on the right. I think he's definitely an inverted winger playing on the left-hand side. You're going to be wanting to cut inside and get some shots away. He does have very decent finishing for a wide man. He's decent on the ball. Passing could be better. Attacking wise is alright, I guess, up to around the 80 mark with your game plan boost. Pace, obviously slightly slower than the GP card, but still got decent pace. Kicking power's okay. Balance is decent. Yeah, he's alright. I think he could do a job for you. If you're a Juventus fan, certainly he could be an exciting one to pick up. For most other people who've been playing the game for a while, you're going to have that many options now. He's probably not going to be one you're going to be too keen to keep hold of, really. I don't think you'll get near too many people's first teams as such, but yeah. Certainly, if you've got an interest in this guy, it's a very good version of him. A big upgrade from his GP card, but he's very much a 4-star card. It's a decent 4-star card, to be fair, but it is still a 4-star card, so it's not an amazing one. I think for a lot of people, it's probably not going to be one worth keeping. Next, we have our goalkeeper. We've got Rulli from Marseille. So, saved a penalty on his debut. We've had a couple of previous versions of Rulli. They're both trainable. One was from when he was at Ajax, one was from when he was at Villarreal, and they both went to 92, so around the same level as this one. With this one, what they've done, basically, his awareness has gone down by 1, but he's had a nice boost on the rest of his goalie attributes. So, yeah, it's a decent keeper. The awareness for me is the one downside. If they could have just nudged that up by a few, that could have got to 90 with the game plan boost, and then you would have had a really nice goal in your hands, because the reflexes and the reach are both going past 90 with the game plan boost. Parring's up in the mid 80s before the game plan boost, which is good. Catching's the only one that's a little bit dodgy, really. But it's still not too bad. But yeah, I would like the awareness to be a bit higher to really consider this a particularly good keeper. With it being only 84, sure, he's decent. He'll do a job for you. I don't think we majorly let anyone down, but yeah, I think most of us who've been playing the game for a while, we've probably got multiple better goalkeeper options, and it's not like we ever get a French league challenge. So on that basis, I'm not sure I'd bother keeping this guy, to be honest. But if you do need goalkeeper options, certainly, like I say, he's not a bad goalkeeper card. He's just not amazing. And they are still giving goalkeepers terrible jumping on their Player of the Week and Player of the Month cards. So it'll be interesting to see if they keep doing that with the big update. Looks like they probably will, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. But not a brilliant goalkeeper card. Awareness for me is a little bit too low, but he's certainly not going to let anyone down. So if you need goalkeeper options, he might be worth keeping hold of, but he's not an amazing one. This is an interesting one for me. So, Fujimoto. I've got this guy's GP card, and I've used him a few times with my Japan squad, and he's been quite decent. His GP card's not amazing. It's nowhere near this level. It's still quite a fun one, so I'm quite interested in this one. He's normally a classic 10. They've changed it to a whole player. Not a huge difference there. I think the main difference really is a whole player will track back a bit more than a classic 10 will, because classic 10s just do not track back. He's our first booster of this pack. He plays in Portugal for Gil Vicente. That probably isn't how you pronounce that. Japanese, so of course he has a face scan. Inconsistent form. He's not two-footed. He's a left footer playing on the right, so he's an inverted winger playing off the right, or he can play as a number 10 through the middle as well. I wouldn't touch centre midfield because he can't defend to save his life, but you can play him as a number 10 or wide right. But yeah, not two-footed, but he does have outside curler. They've added a bunch of skills to this guy. I think he already had outside curler though. What they added, they've added long range curler, first time shot, one touch pass, and then gamesmanship and trap back. So he's got a pretty nice selection of skills now. So long range curler and first time shot with his shooting, then one touch pass, through passing with his passing. Outside curler is a nice one that he's already got. So yeah, nice selection of skills there. This is quite a neat card. Compared to his GP card, on the ball he's around about the same as his GP card. His passing is a little bit worse than his GP card, but he does have a booster. So you hit the booster, and then on the ball he's a bit better than his GP card. The passing gets to, well, around about the same. But elsewhere with his other attributes, they have given him a nice boost. His attacking awareness has had a nice boost. Likewise, his finishing, his defending's gone up quite a bit. Physical contact as well. So yeah, it's a big boost across the board from his GP card. It's not an elite level card by any means, but it's a neat one. I think it's a useful one. If you do ever run a Japan squad in the national team challenge, I do. I know quite a few people do. It could be a really fun one to have. Versatile. But yeah, to be honest, kicking power standing out to me as well. Only 72. That is quite an important attribute. At some point I might do a video talking about that. But yeah, kicking power for me is the one real letdown with those attributes. But apart from that, like I say, a big boost from his GP card. Not an elite level card by any means, but with the whole player playing style, the versatility, good attacking awareness goes well with his playing style. Got good finishing and decent passing. Pretty tidy on the ball. Yeah, not an amazing one, but I think for some people it could be a useful one. But again, like I said with Rulli, we don't get a Portuguese league challenge, so the question is what what challenges you're going to use him in. National team challenge, if you use a Japan squad, like I say, could be a useful one for that. Outside of that, yeah, I don't know. I think for quite a few people, this guy might not be quite good enough to be worth keeping, but for a lot of people, it could be worth keeping. It could be a useful one with a Japan squad, or just in general, could be a neat one to have. Versatile, useful when he gets form, on A form especially. So yeah, again, not an amazing card, but it could be a useful one for some people. Now we have another interesting one. So we've got Diakité. We have had a previous nominating contract version of this guy, and this is a guy who, he's one of the players on the game who's a fullback normally. They've changed him to a centre-back this time. He's normally a fullback, but when you can train him to be a really good centre-back. And that's why this card's interesting, because they've made him a centre-back. This is not a trainable card. And the problem with this card is that if you've got, especially the nominating contract version of him, but even the GP version of him, both those versions of him can be trained to be a much better centre-back than this one. So this card really is kind of pointless. I've got the GP card and the nominating contract card, and I just don't see any need for me to have this card. And if you don't have either version of him, you can just buy the GP card. It's not an expensive card for GP. I think it's a 3-star. And like I say, train him as a centre-back, he's better than this. So yeah, this card for me, if I get it, it's a 10-day contract renewal. I just don't see any real need to keep it. Yes, he's got a play style at centre-back. He's a destroyer now. So he's got that going for him. They've also put his weaker foot accuracy up to very high. So there's that as well. I'll give him credit where it's due. In terms of his skills, they've added first time shot on captaincy. But again, do you really need that? No. If you've got the GP card or the nominal contract one, you don't really need those skills. And if you do need any new skills on them, you can put them on him because they're trainable. This one's not. So yeah, heading now, superiority, man marking, interception blocker. He's got most of the most important skills you need for a centre-back. Looking at it in isolation, down the left, okay for a centre-back. Down the middle, not brilliant. Engagement's a bit low. Fairly good pace for a centre-back. Jumping and physical, just about okay. He's kind of just about usable for a centre-back, but he's not a great one. So yeah, if you pick this guy up, you really need a centre-back. He could certainly do a job. Again, like we said with Rulli and Fujimoto, we're not going to get a league challenge for this guy. He's in the French league. We don't get a French league challenge. So if you run a France squad in the national team challenge, would you put him in as a centre-back? I think there are a lot of better options. You're going to use this guy in divisions. I think most people have got a lot of better options. He's not a terrible card. It's just he's not a brilliant one in isolation. And when you consider that his nominating contract card and even his GP card can both be trained to be better than this guy at centre-back, I just don't really see the point of him, to be honest. So not a terrible card when you factor in the previous versions and the fact he's not trainable. Yeah, I think he's going to be pretty useless for most people, to be honest. Next we have Kovačić, and here's our next booster, complete with an ancient face scan. That's probably done about 10 years ago now. So He's got the same playing style and position as normal. He's a box-to-box centre mid. He can play defence mid or attacking mid. He's got unwavering form, which is good. We've had a 95 rated version that was in one of those legend boxes, I think. Went to about 95. So obviously better than this before the boost. The boost takes him to 94. So we have had a version that's slightly better still, even with the booster active. We had a bunch of 93. So yeah, this is one of the better versions of Kovačić. Maybe not the best, but one of the better ones. Looking at the attributes, it's an interesting one. They've given a very nice boost to his defending. That's the big boost. Made him much better defensively than he normally is. On the whole, he's had a pretty nice boost. But the problem with this guy, we'll look at him before the boost first. They've really nerfed him on the ball, and especially with his passing. His low pass is down by 10 from his GP card. His lofted pass is down by 8 from his GP card. What on earth are they doing? Like, why would you do that? I appreciate you don't want to put cards in these packs that are an equivalent to, you know, the legends, because those are the ones they really make money out of. But why would you take so much of the passing on a midfielder when he's one of the players of the week? It's just absurd. And on the ball, 5 or 6 off his on the ball attributes before the boost. As I mentioned, though, he does have a booster. So when you put the booster back on, he's a bit better on the ball. Still not as great, I don't think, as his GP card. And the passing still, I can't see past that. But yeah, on the whole, it is a good version of Kovačić, especially with the defending going up a lot. He's got a lot of qualities. You know, the pace is pretty decent for a midfielder. Pretty decent kicking power. Physical contact, okay. Balance is decent. Stamina's pretty good. Defensively strong, as I've mentioned a couple of times. On the ball, not as good as his GP card, but still decent. He's tidy on the ball. The attacking awareness, no, I certainly don't think he'd be too great as an attacking midfielder, although we'll look at skills in a second because you could certainly use him there. But yeah, with the passing as an attacking midfielder as well, that's the one thing I can't see past. 82 low pass, it's just not good enough. I've got 3-star midfielders with much better passing than that. Finishing at 78, nice. So he's getting to 80 finishing with the game plan boost. And as we're going to see, we'll look at the skills now. They have added, did he have both these skills before? No, he had neither of them. So they've added long range curler and long range shooting. They've also added through passing. So in terms of his skills, he is now a lot better equipped to play attacking mid than other versions of him. But it's just that passing. I wouldn't put him in that position with passing being so low. So yeah, it's a question of how you use him. I think really the best way to use this guy, you could use him as a defensive mid because he's got man marking, interception. And the defensive attributes are pretty strong. So you could use him as a defensive mid. Otherwise, centre mid, and just be very careful with his passing because it's not great, albeit they've added through passing. He's already got 1-touch pass. Hilchik's a nice one. Man marking, interception are good defensively. So yeah, he's got a bit of everything skill-wise. And in terms of his attributes, like I say, it's a good version of Kovačić. It's just he's a bit worse on the ball than normal, which I think you can live with, especially on A form. But taking so many points off his passing, 10 off low pass, 8 off lofted pass, that just really sucks, and it spoils his card for me. So outside of that, yeah, very good version of him. Got a lot of qualities. Made some nice changes to his skills, but with the passing being so low, it just kind of spoils it a bit for me. So yeah, depending on how you use him, he could still be a good card, but with the passing being reduced as much as it has been, it's a bit of a shame, and it's been spoiled a bit for me. And next we have Super Sub Zirkzee, complete with his magnificent hair. So he's a deep line forward. He used to be a dummy runner. We have previously had one version of him that was in one of those legend boxes or maybe a Showtime box or something like that. Went to 95 as a deep line forward. So slightly better than this one. We've also had a 94. That was a dummy runner though, because he used to be a dummy runner. So a couple of previous versions are around the same level or slightly better. But this is a decent version of him though. It is a booster as well. So we've got another booster. Compared to his GP card, he's got the normal playing style that he has in his GP card. He's got the same position, centre forward. They have given him a really nice boost to his low pass. That's gone up quite a lot. Slight boost to a bunch of other attributes. With the boost though, we activate the booster. Nice. Attacking awareness, that will go past 90 with the game plan boost, and the finishing will hit 90 with the game plan boost as well. So those two then end up being boosted quite a bit from his GP card, so that's good. In terms of his skills, they've taken away chip shot control and they've given him fighting spirit. I think that's all they've done, so not a major change there. He does have good searching skills though. Soul control's nice, a couple of skill modes for the skillers, and then with the shoot we've got rising shot, acrobatic finishing, first time shot. one-touch pass and through passing. I think he already has both of those. And of course, he's a super sub. I think he's already a super sub though. So let me have a very quick look on eFootball Hub. Yeah, so already got those scores. So he's already a super sub. They would have given him a super sub this week though, obviously, because he came off the bench and scored a late winner. But yeah, good selection skills. For a deep line forward though, do his attributes marry up well with that playing style? They're not bad. I would like a bit more balance on him. That's a bit of a shame. But on the ball, he's all right. I'll be careful. He's quite a tall guy, 6'4". Not great balance, so be careful on the ball. He does have good physical contact. The ball control at least is decent with the A form boost. Even if you don't get the boost, you'll hit 80 with the game plan boost and ball control. So he's not too bad on the ball, but be careful with him. But the passing though, with that boost they give him on low pass, his low pass will get to 80 with the game plan boost. And he's got one touch pass and through passing. So as a deep line forward, he could actually be decent. He could work with that playing style. I don't like that playing style in general myself, but some people might do. If you do like the playing style, if it's okay for you, I think it could be a decent card. The pace is all right for a big physical guy. The physical contact there, obviously, as I mentioned, the awareness and the finishing. Yeah, he might not work that well for everyone. Like I say, with that playing style, he might not be everyone's type of striker. And regardless of the playing style, being a big physical guy, yes, he's got a bit of pace, but he's not going to be the quickest. He's not the most mobile or manoeuvrable. But if he does work for you, could be a nice card to have. And I think certainly for Man U fans, he's only just signed for you and just made his debut. So you've already got a very nice version of him that you might end up with. And if you do, you could be very happy with him. So yeah, some people will be very happy with this card. Not going to be for everyone, but could be a nice card for some people. Now we have yet another version of Mitoma. We've had quite a few versions of this guy. This time we have another creative playmaker version. We've had a couple of creative playmakers before. He is normally a roaming flank, so changes playing style, but the same positions as normal. We've had a bunch of previous versions that go to 94 or even a 95. I think it was a Showtime went to 95, so it's not the best version of Mitoma we've had. Still a decent one though at 93. In terms of what they've done to his attributes, not a great deal. He's had a bit of a boost on his awareness and his finishing, so that's good, important attributes on a player like Mitoma. Kicking barrels down a bit. Apart from that, yeah, not a lot going on really. They've not really changed a great deal. Standard form, obviously a face scan, he's Japanese. Looking at their skills, they have added gamesmanship. Whoop-de-doo, that's about it. So for the dribblers, you'll like this guy. If you've not got a good version of him, if you like dribbling, he's really fun. He's a good dribbler. It just comes down to the end product, certainly skill-wise. First time shot, okay, good. And then what else we got? Nothing really. There's nothing with his passing, no crossing. I'd like long range curler as well. That's the one skill that on any trainable version of Mitoma you'd really want to look to put on him, is long range curler coming off that left flank with an inverted winger. But he does have first time shot. Outside curl is a nice one to have. Like I say, for the skillers, the dribblers, there's a load of skills there. So he's very much that type of player. You want to get players on the ball and dribble with them, you'll like this guy. But it's not the best version of him that we've had. And like I say, yes, the passing's okay for a wide man, the finishing's decent, but first time shot's the only real skill he's got in terms of end product, and you can't train these cards, you can't put skills on them. So if you want a good version of Mitoma and you don't already have one, you will be pleased with this card, but it's not the best version of him that we've had, and he's not trainable, so you can't put the skills on that. In my opinion, he needs to really make the most of him. So a good card, yes, but it's not the best version of Mitoma that we've had, and for anyone who's already got a good version of him, you probably won't need this one. So yeah, for some people great, for others not so great. And now we have another Ligue 1 player. So we've got Vanderson, Monaco right back. Has a face scan. I think he got that fairly recently. He's an attacking right back, as he normally is. And it's a pretty decent version of him. So we've had a previous Player of the Week version of Vanderson, but this one goes one higher. And I'm going to go straight to the skills, because that's where he's not just the attributes, with the skills, that's where he's significantly better than the previous Player of the Week version. So what they've done with the skills, they've added one-touch pass, through passing, weighted pass, interception, and man marking as well. So they've added a bunch of really difference-making skills compared to the previous Player of the Week version and compared to his GP card. So good section of skills here. The only skill he's really lacking as an attacking fullback is pinpoint crossing. It's a shame he's not got that, especially when his lofted pass is up to 86. So it's a bit of a shame he's not got pinpoint crossing, but with the passing and man marking interception, I think it's a very usable attacking right back. We've had a nominating contract version as well, actually. I only went to 90 though, so this one is significantly better than that one as well. They've nerfed his lower body attributes a bit. His lower body's down, his speed's down a bit, his stamina's down a bit. They've taken 8 off his kicking power. Why? Like, what? Why? Just make it make sense. Elsewhere though, pretty nice boost. He's pretty strong everywhere. He's a decent looking right back. If you've got a bunch of, legend right backs, the likes of Ferrer, Alarm, players like that, and then for sure you won't need this guy, especially since, again, we don't get a Liga and challenge, so it's really one you're only going to use in either a national team challenge or in divisions. But if you don't have that many good right back options, and certainly if you do ever rock a Brazil squad, or if you're a Monaco fan, obviously, then this could be a pretty nice one to have. He's decent. He's got the pace. Physical contact's okay for a fullback. Balance I'd like to be a bit higher. Likewise, stamina. So slightly lacking with those two. Defensive engagement as well is a little bit on the low side, but we're already at 80 for the other three before the game plan boost. Ball control and dribbling both going past the 80 mark with a game plan boost. Tight possession could be worse, but it's not brilliant. And then low pass at 80 for fullbacks decent, especially with one touch pass, through passing, and you've got weighted pass as well. With 86 for lofted pass, it's just a shame he doesn't have pinpoint crossing. So, yeah. In a few areas, it'll be nice if he was a little bit better, but he does have plenty of qualities there, and he's got a good selection of skills, certainly compared to his GP card and the previous versions of him. So, yeah, for some people, he might not quite make the grade if you've got some really good right-back options, but I think he could be a tidy attacking fullback for some people as well. It's not a bad card, this one. And would you believe it? We've got another Lewandowski card. So, goal poacher as always, same positions as always, unwavering form. Yeah, looking at the attributes in Lewandowski, so we've had a bunch of previous versions that are better than this one. Obviously, with the age he's getting into his mid-30s now, he's going to be getting, slightly worse, gradually worse. We've had, I think the best we've had of Lewandowski went to 98. We've had some 97s, 96s, and this guy obviously is only a 95, so it's certainly a way off being the best Lewandowski we've had, but it's still a decent card. Looking at it in isolation, the first thing I would say, I always say this, goal poacher playing style, slow. It's not a good combination. Goal poacher playing style, they're going to be looking to get him behind the defenders at every opportunity, and he's just not got the pace to get away from centre-backs, so I've had multiple versions of Lewandowski. I've had a similar player of the week card with his lack of pace and that playing style. I mean, mine's actually slightly quicker than this. I've got a player of the week one, which is, I think it's the only one I've kept now of Lewandowski. It's a goal poacher with more pace than this, and it's frustrating with that playing style. It doesn't quite work so well for me. But it does depend on how you use your strikers, how you play. If you don't mind a poacher that isn't the quickest, then that might not be a problem for you, because where it matters, he's obviously great outside of the pace, of course. So the awareness, they've taken a few points off his awareness, actually. It's lower than his GP card, but it's still 90 before the game plan boost, and then finishing likewise. So the awareness and finishing fantastic. He will get in good positions, and he will absolutely take chances for you on the ball. He's had a bit of a boost there. Passing's all right. In fact, they've given his low pass a really nice boost. That's interesting. What else they boosted? His stamina's had a nice boost. That's good. Kicking power's had a bit of a boost. So yeah, like I say, the lack of pace with the goal poacher for me is a concern. But depending how you like to use your strikers, if you like your poachers just to be good at getting into the right position to take chances, you're not too worried about the pace, then it could be a very effective card for you. And they give him a nice boost on certain attributes. We look at the skills, they have taken away cut behind and turn, and they have added outside curler. So that's an interesting change. Outside curler is a nice one. I think that's quite a useful one. He's already he's reasonably two-footed. So yeah, outside curler is a nice one to have. Obviously he's got first time shot. Heel trick's a nice one to have as well. And we've got acrobatic finishing, long range shooting, heading. He'll be okay in the air. He doesn't have aerial superiority. He'll be reasonable in the air. Not amazing. He's not going to be dominant, but he will be able to get the Anderson crosses for you. And like I say, the awareness, the finishing, he's had a nice boost on his passing. A bit of a boost on the ball as well. So yeah, if you don't have a good version of Lewandowski and you want one, this is a strong card. I think the lack of pace is the one thing that will put a lot of people off him. But if that pace is not an issue for you, and if you don't have a good version of Lewandowski already, then certainly in terms of getting into good positions and taking chances, this will be a good version of him. There will be a good card for quite a few people. And now we have another player who's been in Player of the Week a few times already. We have another version of Saka from Arsenal. So on the face of it, not the most interesting version of Saka. So we've had a 97 rated version that was in I think a legend box. There was a 98 rated Showtime one as well. So it's not the highest rated version of Saka we've had. There's been one or two boosted Player of the Week cards as well. But it's still a decent one, 96 rated. Maybe not the best version, but it's still a good card. Annoyingly, the first thing I'm going to have to pick out, ball control. They've taken 6 off his ball control. That's just annoying. You know, if you've got a player performing, a winger who's put in a team of the week performance, why would you take 6 away from his ball control? They've taken 3 off his dribbling as well. This is compared to his GP card. Frustrating, but they have put his finishing up by about 5 and his lofted pass has gone up by 10. And this is where it's going to get interesting. This is where this card does actually become an interesting version of Saka. So the lofted pass goes up to 87 with the game plan boost. That's hitting 90. And if we look at what they've done with his skills, one of the skills they've added is pinpoint crossing. So if you want a version of Saka and you want to put him on the left-hand side, sure, you can put him on the right and have him put in-swinging crosses in. You can cut back and put an in-swinger in. But certainly playing on the left as a left footer with pinpoint crossing, putting crosses in, I think this is the best version of Saka there's been to be used in that way. So looking at the other skills as well, though, I'll tell you the ones they've taken away first. They've taken away chop turn, low lofted pass, gamesmanship, and heel trick. And what they've added, as well as pinpoint crossing, they've added long range curler, long range shooting, and through passing. And he's already got one touch pass. So this is what I mean when it comes to the skills. This is where this version of Saka might not be the best version objectively, but he's got a bunch of skills that really suddenly give him some end product. And when there's lofted pass getting the boost that he does, he's not got amazing low pass, but it at least gets to 80 with the game plan boost. And for a wide man, 80 low pass with one touch pass and through passing, he's got decent passing. 90 lofted pass with the game plan boost if you've got a high enough rated manager, of course. And with pinpoint crossing, he's going to have a really, really good cross on him. And he's got long range curler and long range shooting, with his finishing up to about 84 or so with the game plan boost. This is a version of Saka that might not be the best. Yes, they've nerfed him a little bit on the ball, but dribbling is still getting to the 90 mark with the game plan boost. He's going to have 90 plus for speed and acceleration with the game plan boost. Decent kicking power, decent balance, decent stamina for a winger. Attacking awareness over 80. He can pass, he can cross, he can shoot. The best version of Saka? No. But with the skills he's been given, I think it's a very interesting one. Especially the fact that I don't think there's been a version of Saka before that can cross anywhere near as well as this one can. So in general, right or left, whether he's an inverted wing on the right hand side or whether he's an orthodox left-footed left wing on the left, however you want to use him, passing, shooting, crossing, he's quick, he's good on the ball, and he's got end product. So not the best version of Saka, but for me, it's one of the better ones, and I think it's a very interesting one. I think for a lot of people, this one could be a very useful one to pick up. We finish up with Mo Salah. So, soon to have his updated face scan, of course, because he's had a bit of a trim now. He is a whole player this time, normally a roaming flank. They've added right midfield. Whole player will be active at right midfield. If you play him as a right wing forward, he will not have an active playing style. But with his added position of right midfield, he will be a whole player. They have slightly increased his weaker foot accuracy up to high. That's interesting. It's got unwavering form, of course. We've had a number of 97 rated Salahs, so obviously slightly better than this one. We've had a 98 rated Showtime as well. So, like with Saka, not the best version, but it's still a decent one and it's an interesting one. The fact they've added right midfield. We've had some centre forward versions. If you want Salah as a striker, obviously this isn't the one for you. But if you want Salah as a right midfielder, this could be a really, really nice card for you. So in terms of what they've done to his attributes compared to his GP card, nice boost on his passing, both his low and lofted pass. Both those passing attributes have a nice boost. Physically a bit stronger than normal as well. Outside of that, just a slight boost already compared to his GP card. It's a good, solid version of Salah. Let's have a look at his skills, see what they've done. So they've removed cut behind and turn, chip shot control, and gamesmanship. And what they've given him, like with Saka, a very interesting few changes here. We've got one touch pass, through passing, and we've got first time shot. So again, we've got some added end product. This is an interesting version of Salah. So playing him on the right hand side, cutting inside onto his left foot with the whole player playing style especially, and with his attacking awareness at 90 with that playing style, it's a really nice combination. So if you do like to use right midfielders and have like an inverted winger, and if you want to have a version of Salah that can be used in that way, this could be a really, really tidy card. So again, the attacking awareness, whole player, right midfield, coming inside into his left foot, long range curler, long range shooting, first time shot, one touch pass, through passing. He's got outside curler as well. This is a really, really nice version of Salah. And like I say, if you want a version of Salah, you want to use as a wide forward, still a good version of him, but no active playing style. If you want the centre forward version, we've had a couple of those. This isn't the one, and you can't position train these cards. But you want a right midfield version of Salah with that whole player playing style, strong attributes, nice boost on his passing, bunch of skills to give him the end product with his passing and his shooting. It's a really interesting version of Salah. I think for a lot of people, this would be a really nice card to pick up. So, an interesting selection to kick off the new season of Player of the Week packs. I don't think it's one of the better ones, but certainly there are some pretty good cards in there. I think Saka and Salah, not the best versions of each of those players that we've had, but they're both pretty interesting. Lewandowski, far from the best version we've had of him, but still could be useful for some people, just not the quickest for a goal poacher, but he's certainly got a lot of qualities. Vanderson, not an elite level right back, but certainly a very usable one. Mitoma, not the best version of him that we've had. If you've not got a good version of him and you want one, it'll be a good card to pick up. But if you've got a good one already, he's not quite on the same level as some of the previous ones. And the fact you can't train him, a bit frustrating with the lack of skills in terms of his end product, but certainly a great dribbler. Zirkzee, many fans will love this guy. For some other people, if you like the deep line forward playing style and you like the type of striker he is with his profile, could be an interesting one to pick up. Kovačić, good strong version of him. Got loads of qualities, got a booster, just they've absolutely nerfed the hell out of his passing, and that to me is just absurd. Diakité, strange one, you know, not the worst centre-back that we've seen in Player of the Week, but not a brilliant one either. And if you've got even his GP card, especially his nominating contract card, or actually it might have been a match pass one, I think I might have got that wrong, but yeah, even the GP version of Diakité, train that as a centre-back, it's better than this card, so you don't really need this card. Fujimoto, interesting one. Again, by no means an elite level card, but he's versatile, he's neat. I like his GP card, so I'll be pretty pleased if I pick this guy up. Rulli, not the best keeper ever, but if you need a goalkeeper option, he might be worth picking up and keeping a hold of. But that awareness for me is the one slightly disappointing attribute. So not a bad keeper, but he's all right. And then Mbangula, Juve fans will be pleased with that guy, but it's very much a 4-star card. Yes, he's decent for a 4-star card, but a 4-star is a 4-star. He's obviously not a brilliant one, so... yeah, it's an interesting selection. I feel like I've said this about most of the Player of the Week selections for quite a while now. It's not amazing. There aren't many brilliant cards in there, but it could be worse. It's not one of the worst ones you've had, and there are a few in there that'd be pretty interesting for a lot of people to pick up, to be honest. So yeah, not a terrible selection, not the best, just an interesting one, really. And for a little bit of bonus content, I've got my free spin. I want Fujimoto for my Japan squad. Let's see if we can get him. I wouldn't mind that Saka, actually. Left or right, he looks pretty handy with the skills they're giving him and the crossing ability. But Fujimoto is my target. I see red. Are we getting him? Oh, I don't want Salah. Oh well, we've got a 10-day contract renewal. Happy days. So there you go. Hope you found that useful. Let me know who you spun. Let me know what you think of these players. My prediction that I put out on Monday turned out to be terrible, so at least I've set the bar pretty low for the next time, so I'll do another prediction, maybe it's on Monday or after the weekend. But yeah, hope you found this useful. Cheers for watching as always. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon.